Hi, I'm Eleanor Graves. I'm an interior designer and owner of Clean Air Homes in Baltimore, Maryland. I started making these inspiration and optics videos because I love the process of creating the vision with the client. We talk about what you like and what you need from your home, and in the process that takes us to inspirational images. But then we need to understand what's working in those inspirational images. What are the optics in play? So that's what these videos are about. And in today's Inspiration and Optics video, I want to talk about finding inspiration from a work of art. A lot of interior designers use art more as an accessory. They bring it into the interior after the fact, after they've already selected colors and fixtures and furnishings. But I'm meeting a number of people who are finding the artwork first and want to figure out how do they bring it into their home, and sometimes literally because they forgot to measure, or the doorway is too narrow, or the stairway or the ceiling height. So interior designers are really good at reminding you to measure everything. So a couple of thoughts about finding art and buying art. One of the things that you wanna have some confidence in the artwork you're selecting, confidence in your appreciation in the work, and that you're going to want this in your home for many years to come. So how do you get to that point? First, I would say look at a lot of art. Expose yourself to a lot of art. Go to galleries, go to museums, and follow artists online. Social media is heavy with visual arts right now, especially Instagram. And that's a great way to get to know a little bit about their process and the body of work they've created, as well as finding their gallerists if they have them. The other thing to consider is notice when you are standing in front of a work of art for a long time. Just notice when a piece of art has captivated you. You want that quality in the work that you bring into your home. And it is part of the enjoyment of having art in your home, that you get to figure out what it is that you like about that piece, or that your appreciation continues to deepen over the years of your having that piece in your home. So then some logistical considerations about bringing art into your home are wall space. Do you want a lot of wall space around the art? Do you want the art to fill the wall? What about wall color, and then lighting, and then also fixtures and furnishings around the artwork? So those are some of the practical considerations. More globally is whether you're going for a more eclectic or layered look, which is what we're going to look at today, or if you are more of a minimalist and the artwork stands alone. I will talk about that in a future video. So let's get to today's inspirational image. It's a really interesting and passionate interior, and I think there's a lot to discover. This is a living room in London by interior designer Douglas Mackie, who also has a beautiful website that I highly recommend you visit. And I came across this image several years ago on Pinterest. I really love the emerald green color of the painting, which, by the way, I don't yet know the artist, but when I find out, I will return to this video and post a caption. So as I was preparing for this video, I discovered that the designer has changed a couple things in this interior since this picture was taken. So I'm also going to show you a second image so we can see something really interesting about color relationships. And speaking of color relationships, let's get into that. Notice the blue-green color choice on the wall behind the painting. Actually, while we're at it, let's notice all the different greens in this image. There's this more olive green on the plant, there's a more turquoise green on the lamp, and then there's just a little hint of the blue-green here in the coffee table, the glass coffee tabletop, and this sideboard I think also has some blue-green to it. Good choice with wall color, I think, because this is to me a choice that has is informed by color theory. This designer chose an analogous color relationship, colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. And analogous colors are safe choices, which I don't mean safe as in conservative, rather they are easily pleasing to the eye. And when I was in color theory, my first color theory class, we had this assignment to bring in images that we were drawn to, and we were going to figure out why we were drawn to them. And I brought in several J. Crew catalog images, just models in skirts and blouses and sweaters, sort of all layered onto each other in ways that I might not normally wear, but I thought they looked really good together. And that's when I learned that J. Crew catalogs are from cover to cover using analogous color schemes. So color theory is everywhere. But back to the art and to these color choices. We usually see art, especially abstract and modern art, on white walls. And there is a lot of white in this interior, actually. It's on the ceiling, on the crown molding, on the fireplace, and other trim work. It's also in the rug. Um, but there's also white in the painting itself. And this is a white that the artist chose. This is part of the composition. And I think the designer respected that, did a good job respecting that that artist's choice by setting it off with this blue-green color. Because now the white, the crispness of this white, the freshness really stands out. And it's not background white, it's part of the art. The white is also part of the statement that is this artwork. There are other details I see that have a relationship to the painting in the brasses and browns. They bring out the brass in the painting, the brasses and browns that you see sort of here and on the edges and in the corners. It'll give it kind of a metallic appearance, even though I'm not sure if there's actual metallics in the painting. I see brass both in a muted patina, like the sculpture on the coffee table and like the coffee table legs, I think. And then also as a more highly polished feature, like in the fireplace, on the desk, and some of this trim on the lamp base. And then also in the mottled wood of these chairs. I think that's also got some relationship to the painting. So the chairs are interesting to me. This is something that I really liked when I saw this image, this interior for the first time. My eye went immediately to the painting, of course, and then it went to the chairs, and I thought black and green work really well together. And I think maybe it's an association I have with the woods near my house in the summer, where the leaves are super lush, and then they're contrasted with the thick, dense woods, and the shadows in the woods sort of look black. But this is something the designer changed at some point in the past 5 years. So let's bounce over to this newer image and have a look. There. See the chairs? There's other things too. Let's go back to that first image. Notice also on the left side some of the details, the coffee table as well. And yeah, so here we have the black upholstery. And now we have a creamy textured white upholstery. So interesting. There are more pops of turquoise in the room, so not just this lamp, but also a vase and this bowl. And notice, the eye is going to move around the room because of that. There's also this new sculptural element here. Maybe it's another side table in this creamy white color. And then there is a fire in the fireplace, which granted is a temporary feature, but it is creating an effect for us as we look at this image. It is one of the optics in play that we want to be aware of, influencing our perception of this interior. And then, wow, suddenly we have this pop of red, and we've shifted from the safe and easily pleasing analogous color scheme with colors adjacent to each other on the color wheel to this complementary. This pop of red is a complementary color to the green, which means it's a color that's opposite the green on the color wheel, which is a much more dynamic vibe. And so, this designer has added this whole new layer to this interior now, this whole new energy on top of what was already there. I'll go back one more time. Feels a little bit more serious, a little bit more formal here. And now it's a little bit lighter, I think, literally in color, but also I think it's a little less serious. And then let's look at another shot of this room that shows us more art and more layering. Here we go. So here we have sculpture. And this is so nice. I love the way he's given this a little framing around the sculpture by putting this small screen behind it. It's a plain background to set off the sculpture, but it's also a multi-layered thing going on. We have the blue-green wall color, we have the lines and drapes, lines and folds of the drapes, and then the screen, which has a kind of, I think, brass edge, and then the sculpture, and then the pedestal, which is also beautiful, and I could keep talking about, but I'm going to keep going because there's more art here on the side table on its own pedestal, which is on another coffee table that's also a pedestal, that's also a sculpture in its own right, with these beautiful red to blue patina going on. So this is a layering effect, layers, layers, and layers. And then this blue to red side table is having a relationship, a conversation with this chair, which, the furniture itself is relatively simple. This is not the most elaborate chair I've seen. It does have an interesting upholstery to it, and we could keep talking about that texture and pattern on the upholstery, and the pattern on the throw pillow, and the pattern on the all these accoutrements that are adding to this interior. But there's one more thing. I want to get to another image, and there's just so much to see. We could really keep going here. Okay, so this is the same room. This is a wall opposite the emerald painting. The choices are so confident. This light fixture, by the way, is by a lighting designer named Lindsay Edelman. Look her up. I highly recommend checking her out. Her pieces are inspiring in themselves. They're very much works of art. And I love the smoky conversation between these globes, the globes on this pendant, and then the Chinese painting on the wall, the other art in the room, the dusky red-violet chairs. And, I think this is all contributing. All of it has this wonderful, eclectic, and energetic relationship. Oh, and one more thing. Check it out. Wall-to-wall carpeting, not hardwood floors. That was such a surprise to finally see after many, many, minutes, half hours of looking at this image. And let's go back. Yes. Carpet, and then another carpet. Talk about layering. And yeah, back to that original one. Same thing. Same carpet on a carpet. So fun. This kind of interior, inspired by art, is endlessly malleable and a great showcase for treasured items. It's energetic, it's passionate, it's eccentric, it's personal. It holds a lot of beauty for this client. And it might seem obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. Beauty is a worthwhile pursuit. So how are you going to bring beauty into your home? That's it from me today. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts, any ideas, or inspirations from this video. You can also find me on my website at cleanairhomes.com. I'm Eleanor Graves. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.